Alright, so someone offered us some guinea fowl. I guess they're handy. They eat ticks and stuff. Why would you eat ticks? So, got some wood we found. I went in and got some concrete last night. The goal is to set them free eventually so they can eat all those gross things. And but first they need to have a home base. I don't know. Shuva's done all the reading on it. I haven't. This old stall in here with sectioned off this area. This is going to serve as kind of a barrier just to keep the stuff from maybe digging their way in at them. So I'm going to put some cement over that. Put some wire around. So I'm right now trying to get a block to fit into that area. Now that you know on and record, you pretty much know all the secrets of being a videographer. Much else to say. What I've been keeping under my head all these years. So we ran a new line of fence yesterday way around the pasture, and it's just a single line, and so I just want to walk this line and make sure no deer or anything have taken it down since yesterday. I guess that's all I have to say about that. This is going to be a long walk. We gave them quite the pasture. Let's start way down there and go all the way around. Lucky cows. Alright, so we started way up there and it runs right to that post. There's the roll of wire. Perfect. Now the long walk back. I remember when I was a teenager, when I got my license and you're hanging out with friends and causing trouble and stuff like that. I remember I'd always say, oh, I gotta get up to work early. Oh, my parents need me home early. Oh, I gotta study for a thing. Anyways, none of that was true. Here I was, a teenager, got my license, and hanging out with friends, and, you know, whatever. Bonfires or all the trouble you cause being a youngster. I don't even remember what I did as a teenager, except for this. I always would come up with these excuses why I had to break away from my friends. Should I even admit this? So I could go home and watch Diagnosis Murder. I just love that show. Dick Van Dyke solving murders and stuff. Yeah. And I've never admitted that to anyone. All the lies I told just to go home and watch Diagnosis Murder. I just love that show. Look at this old deer stand right here. It'd be kind of a fun thing to maybe make it into a little clubhouse for the boys. Although it's a long way away from the house. and it's really tall, but maybe when they get older. Although, how much older do you have to be before having a clubhouse is kind of lame. My typical lazy way, I haven't filmed any of our progress on the chicken, bird, home thing. So, fast forward a few days from whenever the last thing was I did, and we found some old lumber. All of this is lumber that was in a pile that we found.
Wow.
Built a frame.
Lumber that was in a kind of a refuse pile that had just been dumped there in recent weeks or months.
Weeks
From a creamery that had been demolished for new construction over on the edge of Brandon, right?
Yeah.
So there's a big old pile of mostly busted up lumber and glass and metal and whatever from and cement block and up in one of the high pastures. And since we were wanting to work on this, but wanted our financial investment to be minimal, since we were already going to have a lot of time investment in it, and not a whole lot of guarantee that any of this is going to work out on the initial for the initial purpose. We wanted to reclaim and reuse, and other also just for.
And this door you're working on too, right? That's been sitting around for a while.
The door. Well, the door itself was just at Dad's place for years and years.
Yeah.
So we reclaimed that, but it wasn't just a random pile that happened to be there for forever. It's a newly dumped pile, and so it was good to be able to pull usable stuff from it before it further deteriorated. And
is burned eventually, I think.
Getting burned, just burned up, yeah.
So, I think our only investment has been, concrete and screws.
We bought chicken wire.
Oh, and chicken wire.
A couple big rolls of chicken wire.
Why are we working so hard for these?
And then we bought the double-headed nails or
staples. Yeah. Why are we working so hard for these? Do they do anything?
Then,
do they give us eggs? What are we doing this for?
Some new nails as well.
It's a lot of work.
Bought some. I guess we've used my dad's screws.
Do they provide anything for us? Can we eat them? What do they do? They eat ticks.
Of course, there's a lot of.
I just don't know why we're doing all this.
We spend a lot of our time.
It just seems like a lot of work.
Because my dad has had it, and my dad has sacrificed a lot of his time, because of course, even the idea of all the things we had to consider of how to line different planes up, different things up where angles where things aren't meeting up and lining up, but to have a flat surface to put the chicken wire on the outside of this frame, like to be able to anticipate that and see that those are going to be things you're going to come up against is a new concept for me, and is frankly completely beyond you. So it's taken us a lot.
I'm gonna edit that part out.
It's taken us a lot. It's taken us a lot longer to do this than it would have just for my dad to do it by himself, I'm sure. But it was nice that he had all the concrete block laying around, and we just had to buy the mix, and he already had good sand to mix into. We're
putting old materials to use. We're putting this barn that just kind of sat here. We're putting it to use. So, but what? So why?
Yeah, you
why?
Still want to,
why?
Bang on about the why.
Yeah.
Why what?
Why are we doing this? What is this? What do these birds do? They don't give us eggs or anything. What do they do?
We're just taking advantage of a goodwill gesture by a friend of my dad's who offered some guinea fowl, some young guinea fowl that he had managed to acquire or just capture that had been randomly roaming around his farm area, and that who knows, maybe they were from somebody else's attempt at having an intentional flock at their property, and that went rogue and wild, but he captured a bunch and had offered, and we've been wanting to work on an area for chickens in the barn, but knew that wasn't going to be something that we would be able to actively have this season yet. It would be something for the next season, and so we had just kind of put off the idea of doing it until the winter time. But I guess I seized the idea of accepting the guinea fowl and embracing that because not only are they good at working on pest control here in conjunction with the wild turkey flock that's between the, like, see, our place, Dad's place, and our two neighbors' places. They'll work well with them, but I read that they do well at like in gardens. If you've got row plants or row crops in your garden, they do a nice job of pest control within your garden without damaging the actual produce.
Oh.
So that's cool for off in the future.
Well, good.
But it's a good place to start to have been motivated to get a fire under us to work on this area, and then see if we can help winter these birds over. And if it's a failure, if it doesn't work with that, then it's still a success in terms of this space, because then we can immediately turn it over to being used for chickens in the spring.
Gotcha. We gotta get a move on it, because I need to get out I need to wash up the windows so I can see out of the mower. Then I gotta take it over to the farm and air up the tires, grease it, fill it full of fuel. Blah, blah, blah. I can't believe it's it's September 25th and I'm still mowing hay.
Yeah.
Is today the 25th? 26th, 27th, 28th. Yeah.
It was the 10th was the parade, and the next Friday would be the 17th, and that would make
Today's the 25th.
25th, yeah.
Next Thursday we wake Green Day up. Wake Green Day up. Isn't that Green Day? Wake me up when September
Wake
is?
me up before you go.
No. It's wake. No,
So
that's not.
what the hell? What are you talking about?
Wake me up when September. You never? No.
This is Green
Jesus
Day. I'm
Christ.
sure I've heard it, but I don't. It's not in my native wheelhouse.
Native wheelhouse. Just nail your.
All right, I gotta go cut it first. I gotta push on the door so it's not coming out that way, and then do this.
Just another Saturday at the office. Not fun. I kept plugging up repeatedly, just dirt and stuff getting caught in it, and it was a lot of stop and go. I am tired. So where are we at? Since I was out cutting hay and everything, you got us to where we're ready to hang wire?
Yeah, I got all that enclosed up there.
Oh, nice.
Sections that we've got
Whoa! The tape measure.
the headboard and the sides, all these gaps on the side are filled in. We have to put on our hardware on the door, the handle and the locks or latches.
Perfect.
And then chicken wire on the outside.
Wow, and yeah, filling those gaps.
Contact surfaces.
Filling those gaps above the joists. That probably wasn't easy, was it?
No, it was.
A lot of measuring.
Dad,
No, it was.
it was
easy.
Dad,
Huh.
I really
Once
like it
we-
when it does this.
Go around. No. Jesus Christ. That'll make for a good video. Watch you go. Overlapping the Oh yeah, I can see from here that it totally goes, because they're just going to that wood, that edge, not that beam.
At this edge.
Yeah.
All right, the first wall is complete. What are you doing?
Has to be reinforced and then zip tied along here yet, but it is actually up, so like you're halfway to the basic necessity of what needs to be up for these birds to be here later this afternoon.
So you finished up the cage while I was over.
Look, these
At
two
the
are
farm
in one
earlier?
corner, that one's all by itself, and then
Yeah.
there's 3 in here.
Our bird coop.
Bird coop.
Do you guys want to maybe try feeding? So Eva suggested, they're suggesting that we just feed from our hands at first for a good long
could
while.
I feed with my
So let's
hand
come
flat?
in.
I want to do it with my hand flat. Don't want to
Can
get
you
my
open?
hand.
Right, can you open that up for me?
Wait just a little bit.
Here. Oh, they're so sweet.
Can I have some?
Yes, come over here. Just sit down.
Where's the bag?
Just sit down. Just sit down here.
Oh, hey, don't nip at me.
Look at that.
First success.
Look at that. He's eating out of your hand.
Oh.
Give me some more.
All right, what do you think?
Yay! I feel like 6 days of on again, off again work throughout good chunks of each of those days, including this full weekend that we just did, has been totally worth it. Like the minute that I walked out here and saw the little crate that had these 6 guys in it, and I feel like we learned a lot to boot from my dad on how to work in this barn space again to create another cordoned off area for other animals maybe.